I'm Laura, and I garden in Zone 7, Southern New Jersey, and I hacked back my Limelight Hydrangea Tree. Just like the title of the video says, right? I did not film this when I did it earlier this spring. My husband helped me with it, and the reason why, as many of you know, I've been grieving the death of my father. And so a lot of the spring cleanup, which here we are almost the end of June and I'm still doing spring cleanup, it hasn't been easy. I don't mean to digress with that right now. What I wanted to show you today was the Limelight Hydrangea Tree. So let's take a look. So here is I'll back up first. Here is the bed. Do you know, just yesterday, and again, let's see, yesterday was the longest day of the year, June 21st. I'm filming this on the 22nd. Just yesterday, I finally got the daffodil remaining brown stems out of this garden bed. That's how hard this has been doing cleanup. When you're grieving, it is not easy. This is the Limelight Hydrangea Tree. Now, I think it looks kind of cute. But you can see, let me show you a picture of how it once looked. Yeah, you see how big and beautiful it was? Well, this is a lot more compact, and there were good reasons to do this. Let me go in closer here. So a lot of this is an old tree. We put this in, I believe, I want to say 2009. I'm going to put it on the screen because I can never remember. But you can see, you know, the trunk and the stems. These stems have been around for a while. Look at this one. This one's got a little bit of a crack in it. And eventually I may have to cut this one off. Hopefully not for a while. But it's for that reason that I wanted to start fresh, because what was happening is most of the growth was coming at the top of the plant. And if you remember my emergency pruning I did about a year and a half ago, it wasn't last season, it was the season before that in like August or September. I'll put that video up on the screen above me, but it'll also be at the end of this video. I have a whole playlist on this Limelight Hydrangea Tree, by the way, how to prune, how to care for it. So when I did the emergency pruning, it's because it was all spindly and there was a lot of dead stuff. It just didn't look good. Well, what had started to happen is that all the new stems were coming at the top. Now, because we gave it such a hard cut, look what's happening. I've got all these new, strong stems that are coming out. This one did not exist. You see where it's coming out? And see this little guy? This guy's not going to amount to anything. And if you see things like that, you can just take them off. But this guy did not exist, I would say back in March. And look how strong he is. And big, right? But he's not the only one. Look how many I've got down here. I've got this guy. I've got this guy. I've got this guy back here. You know, I've got all these low growths now, which means the tree is going to look a heck of a lot fuller. And you can kind of see, looking at this side, what I want is I want it to be not just a top tree, almost, you know, it was starting to look almost like a lollipop kind of tree. Everything would bloom. And all this right here, right in the middle here where I'm talking, this all was bare. And no matter what I tried, creative pruning, whatever, it just wasn't working. So now I've got some lower stems that are coming up. And that is my goal, is to encourage those stems. And let me see if I can show you where I made some of the cuts as an example. I am really up close and personal with this tree now. So we cut this off. This long branch, well, it was much longer. See, so it starts from this main trunk, and not only, so we cut it there, but it just kept going and going and going and going. But it was really old. We cut this to encourage newer stems. Now you see this guy right here popped out. And he's not as thick as some of these other ones, but we've also got one down here. And our hope, especially my hope, is that these will just continue sprouting and growing. We even have some stuff down here, which I really love, because this is a very old branch right here. This we hacked back, easily at least a year ago, if not two. It kind of looks like two, judging by the way this looks. But we finally got some stems coming out down here, and that's really what I wanted. I wanted to stop with all the growth that was just happening up high. We did have to cut back several branches that, again, I thought there wasn't much growth coming out. And if you're wondering what that is, that's not like a insect that burrowed into it. These stems, as they start to die, they're hollow-ish in the middle, and they just increase getting more and more hollow once they die. So that's why you see that. So don't get alarmed that it's actually some sort of bug burrowing in there. So let me see. Yeah, here again. Okay, let me just, where's my finger going here? Yeah, you see these guys? You can just pull those off. Okay, they're not really going to amount to much. It's not going to kill the plant. Every so often you'll see things like that, and that's okay to get rid of. These, of course, are my favorite pine needles. Happens all over the place. Now here's another branch right here. Cut this one back, okay? But I've got nice growth here, and again, that's not the only stem coming out from that. So that was one we cut back. Now you also see from this same stem, follow this stem up. I'm going to shake it so you can see it. See how tall that is? It's pretty tall. I am, to give you some perspective, let's see. Right here is about 5 feet, so it's going up quite a nice bit. And so are these other ones. Of course, I'm now going to put you right into the sun, so shield your eyes. I don't have sunglasses on. I should take my own advice. So to give you another perspective, and again, excuse the yard, we are slowly trying to take it back. It's got weeds, but we finally got all the leaves up, and I'm talking leaves from last fall. So I'm not exaggerating when I say that cleanup is slow going. When you're grieving and you're not really feeling it, you just got to go with the grieving. Sometimes it's not good to push yourself. And the answer is yes, this boxwood still needs to be pruned. I never got to it last year. This one really needs to get cut back. So this is another shot. And I put this up because I want to show you right now what the tree looked like when I needed to do the emergency pruning a couple years ago. See how it was just kind of open. There were some dead things on it. I don't really know what had happened, but it just wasn't a happy year for it. So besides cutting a lot of it out, what I had done then, and I showed you in the video that I said I'll link to at the end, is I redid this whole bed's soil. So I got rid of all the bark mulch that I once used to have in here, those heavy bark chips, stripped all that away, put lots of compost, composted cow manure is what I used. I think we used like 11 bags in this bed. I mean, we really packed it in there. And then on top of it, as a mulch, what we did was, since it was fall, so this would have been 2 years ago in the fall, or a year and a half ago, is I took a bunch of shredded leaves, and we took leaves and shredded them up, and then in like a little shredder chipper thing we have, little vacuum, and then I put that all on the bed. So that plus some espoma fertilizer seemed to really help. The rest of the plants are really happy here. It's just the tree was struggling. So now what you're seeing is a much fuller tree. It's fuller even at the top because we cut back all of the big stems and cut them back to, for example, this guy was cut back to here. And let me step away so you can kind of keep focused on that. So you see, that's pretty big, right? That's pretty tall. It's a big, good, long branch. But we did that on purpose so we could have more stems come from it. And that's was my whole goal about this. And see, you got these things again. It happens. The leaves, closest to a stem as it's developing will sometimes come off. Just like you see on this big branch, there's no leaves down here. So it's just nature doing its thing. And there's a couple here that got a little longer. Sometimes you'll get these yellow leaves if there's too much rain or watering too much with sprinklers. And usually it's the yellow leaves that indicate a little bit too much water. Brown leaves, browning at the edges, that's going to show you that you don't have enough water. Plus the leaves will kind of limp. So If you see 1 or 2 yellow leaves, it's just telling you, you know what, I've got a lot of water, I'm good. What you want is exactly this. You want healthy green color, and at the ends of each one of these stems is where you're going to start to get a ton of your flowers. If you are frustrated by your Limelight Hydrangea, if it's older and you feel like it's gotten out of control, hack it back. That's what we did. We just took the pruners, showed no mercy, and I'm really happy with how it looks. Even the back here, you know, which traditionally I didn't have much of a back to this tree, but now if you look at it this way, it seems like it's nice and even. Even-er. Is that a word? More even. There you go. So yeah, there's still some gaps, I guess, that you can see into the tree, but for the most part, I am very happy with it. Can't wait for it to bloom. So there you go. I'm very happy with how this turned out. I was a little nervous, but I knew we had to do it. It just felt like one of those things, and I got to tell you, when you're not feeling good and you're sad, it's kind of powerful to just prune something back and say, okay, I'm giving you a rejuvenation pruning and you are going to grow. And that's what happens when you prune something. It kind of encourages the plant to push out more growth to compensate for what you removed. Not that they're human thinking beings, but this is what nature does. So watch this video next if you want to see the emergency pruning I had to do. And here is a playlist of all my Limelight Hydrangea Tree videos. The comments are filled with questions and answers on all of these videos, but if you have any questions today, please leave them in the comments. And until next time, happy gardening.